Gaza, don't you cry. We will never let you die.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine.
Free Palestine!
Free Palestine.
Hey guys, welcome back to Naily by Nature. I'm your host, Naily. Today we are in the Bronx. We are covering the Palestinian rally. This is the first episode of my series, which is going to be about what are you wearing today. We're going to go to different cities, different places, and ask people what they're wearing. So we're going to be covering why these protesters are here and what they're wearing and what they value. So let's get into it. Welcome back to Naily by Nature. I'm your host, Naily. On today's episode, we are going to be covering the Palestinian protest. Can you tell us what you're wearing and give us a breakdown of what you're wearing?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I actually have a keffiyeh. I think this one I might have gotten from Palestine, or I might have gotten from somebody who's been there, but it was on a different trip than the time that I've been there. And then everything else is just my bargain hunting from like TJ Maxx, like Marshalls, trying to think if there's anything significant.
How much, what would you say is the cost of all the items you're wearing?
It's a good question. I would say no more than including my shoes. Okay, so then I would say like $100.
Today I'm just wearing casual clothes and I'm wearing this keffiyeh, for this protest, so that, for the representation of Palestine.
Jeans and a t-shirt, I guess.
All right, so I am currently wearing an Algerian jersey from France. I'm wearing a kufiyeh, and I'm wearing a Palestinian little, scarf, and that's about it.
How much is the value of everything you're wearing? What's the cost, and what does it mean to you?
The value, so this is $50 from France. The kufiyeh, I'm not sure how much it is. It's from Palestine, and everything else maybe around like $100.
Yeah.
So this Algerian jersey means a lot to me since I am from Algeria, and I'm very prideful of my country, and as well as the kufiyeh since Algeria is one of the biggest supporters of Palestine, so it really means a lot to me.
I'm wearing a $50 sweatsuit because I ain't trying to spend a lot of money in the middle of a pandemic, you know what I'm saying? And things is extra expensive, so yeah.
I'm wearing an Unfuck the World hoodie, It's courtesy of the movement. This is what it means to me. It's basically what it means to whatever unfucking the world means to you. The world we all know is fucked, and it's our job to unfuck the world. Reverse the roles, do what we got to do to make the environment a better place.
I got a regular outfit. I actually came out. I usually don't come out dressed like this to protest. So I'm the opposite. I come out militantly. I come out prepared to protest, because when we come out here, maybe not so much with Free Palestine marches, but we've been protesting with BLM and a lot of other things, and police a lot of times are the oppressing force, just like it is in Israel, where you have oppressing forces like the NYPD trained IDF. Let's be clear, we have the same issue.
I'm wearing an abaya, a hijab, and a men's scarf, the Palestinian men's scarf.
What's the cost of everything you're wearing, and how much do you value what you're wearing today?
I got this from Saudi when I went to Umrah, so it has to do with my religion. And this one I just got from a Bengali store. It's like $25. The hijab was like $6 online.
So basically, just representing Palestine and the scarf that they wear, alhamdulillah.
I'm wearing a white shirt, Palestinian flag, necklace, jeans, my sneakers, and a hatta. It's all materialistic things to me. I don't really I'm not that materialistic, so I don't really care. If I didn't have these shoes tomorrow, I wouldn't care. Honestly.
I'm wearing a hijab and a gifrab, which is from a Yemenis, or let's just say a Middle Eastern country, but I'm mostly African, aka Tanzanian.
What's the meaning of the keffiyeh for you?
So the keffiyeh, it's a representation of the Palestinian culture, and I wear it in support of the Palestinians.
I think generally it's just like a symbol of the region of, I know there's different keffiyehs for different countries. I think it's a symbol of liberation. I think that's kind of what it's come to mean. I know there's kind of specific meanings for specific keffiyehs, but I think as a general symbol of liberation is the way that I see it.
What do you value more, material possessions or real estate, like land?
I honestly, land, to be honest. With Algeria, we fought a lot for our land. So with the French, they try to take our lands and we push them away, alhamdulillah. So that's why we have a lot of relation with Palestine, with what they're going through.
It's more about what I feel towards something. not really materialistic possessions, but what I feel towards those possessions. Like the Quran Sharif, it's a materialistic possession, but it's also really important to us. And also this abaya, like I remember it because it's from Umrah. Like it gives memories like that.
The thing that I value the most is my family, my children, my wife, my mother, my relatives. That's what I value the most. Material things comes and they go.
Now, real estate and materialism, I'm very simple. I don't really value the whole materialistic thing, but at the same time, I value that people should have a right to live in peace and have shelter and food on the table and live with your family in peace. I don't care who you are, what color you are, where you're from, but Islam always shows peace and tranquility.
What do you value more, material possessions or real estate, like your land?
My land, definitely.
Real estate.
Land. Because I don't care about no material over land. You know what I can do? I can make material on the land.
Real estate is where it's at. If you ain't got no property, you ain't got no money.
Real estate and land. I mean, at the end of the day, material things, we're always making more, and clearly we're making too much of it when it comes to clothes. But with real estate, there's a limit to how much land there is. And right now we're going through a crisis where when it comes to rental, too many people are buying up land that not enough people are living on, and then renting it back to the people, and then being able to control who lives there. That's a problem here. That's a problem across seas. That's a problem in Israel as well.
You know, to what extent are you willing to go to protect that real estate, your land? Say if someone was to come to your house and point a gun to your head and say you have to get out, are you willing to fight for that land? Are you willing to kill someone for that land?
So I will lose my life or fight for somebody or kill somebody at least to actually protect my land, to protect something that my ancestors have built for us to make us live here and be known that it is our land. No one can take over it.
I mean, if somebody trying to take my life, I got to take it from it's by any means necessary, like Malcolm X said.
If they try to take my land, no, because they're not trying to take my life. But if they're trying to take my life in the process, that's a different story. Most time, I believe in not taking no one's life unless they're in the process of taking a life of somebody to you around you that you need to protect.
If someone was to come to your home with a gun pointed to your head and say you have to get out, are you willing to fight for that land? Are you willing to kill someone for that land? Are you willing to die for that land?
Of course. I'm Palestinian. This is what people go through in Palestine. This is what we fight for. We're not here just to be here. We're here to get our voices heard and let people know what's actually happening and all the tragedies that's happening and all the people that are dying, the innocent kids, innocent families. People's homes are being destroyed, everything.
We will fight to the death.
I'm African American. My family grew up here in New York, or at least my parents grew up in New York. My grandparents on both sides grew up in New York, but tracing back my history, we were slaves at some point. And so I think this concept of your land is just, it's a complicated one. It's like, this is where I was born, this is where I was raised, but do I feel that I would fight for it the same way that other people who, were not brought here in chains would fight for it? I think that's a different question.
Yeah. I will do everything to fight for my land. My land means a lot to me. And if I have to die for my land, I will die for my land.
It's life or death. That's my home. That's where my family rests their head at. You know what I'm saying? And a person more scared to pull a trigger than what I am of getting shot. So we're going to have to go at it.
Somebody comes there and I don't have a gun and somebody has a gun to my head, I'm leaving. At the end of the day, I could come back for that land. A lot of people don't necessarily believe that same thing, but for me, if I know my land's possibly going to get taken, I'm going to have my gun in what means to protect my land as well. And so that's a different story. It depends how I'm prepared.
We shouldn't have violence at all. My thing is that if you was living on a land, no matter where you're at, and somebody is trying to harm you and your family, yes, that person has a right to defend themselves no matter who you are.
I would stand there. You can't move me. If you want, kill me in my own home, but I will not leave. I will fight till the end.
I would absolutely fight for my land because at the end of the day, if I have to die to protect my family and especially die for the sake of Allah, that's beautiful.
I know that I would try to fight to protect what is mine. I would try not to use force if that was possible, but I think at some point, it's reasonable to think that you have a right to protect the things that you own.
Why are you protesting today?
Well, we are here in solidarity with the Palestinian people and the oppression that the United States and Israel have placed them into. I think that Israel have no right to occupy Palestine and to be in that territory, and they need to get out of there as soon as possible to have a free Palestine.
I am protesting because I really support Palestinians and I support the Palestine in general, and we are fighting for a great cause, and we are protesting to save Palestinians and, you know, make awareness to everyone of what's really going on in Palestine and the occupation of Palestine with Israel.
I don't stand with what Israel does. I think what they're doing, it's a genocide, and it's against every rule in the book, and it's just not humane.
I'm here because I think it's really important to show solidarity for the Palestinian cause, even beyond when bombs are flying and missiles are dropping. Obviously, we've had another bout of violence, just like we have, every couple of years, and this is nothing new, since 1948, really. But I think that the sad part is whenever violence stops, I think people tend to forget about what's going on there, and that there's a continued state of what I would consider to be apartheid and settler colonialism, et cetera, just, right as we're going to work and doing the normal things that we do.
I have a friend from Israel. All of a sudden, after the Palestine and Israel clashes came through media, they were like, it's Palestine's fault, we gave them money and they used it to do like terrorist organizations and stuff. And they started blaming Palestine. I was like, this is a country, a Muslim country, and you're killing children, women, and everyone for one terrorist organization that might not even be true, because your government probably created it. They're probably brainwashing the Israeli people, making them think it was Palestine's fault, so they don't see any fault in doing anything of it. And everyone here is just, the whole world is looking at Palestine getting tortured like this, and they don't see that. They think they deserve it. And I came here because I want to learn more, try to help out, raise awareness.
Protesting for the concept of accountability, you know what I'm saying? Holding Zionists accountable for their beliefs and their hatred towards Palestinians. I'm out here for solidarity, for the Palestinian community to see that there's a bridge between the Black Lives Matter movement and their struggle as well. And for, like I said, for the concept of solidarity, for people from all walks of life to understand that when one community is in a struggle, that's a human struggle, and we have to understand that we're all humans. At the end of the day, we all bleed the same color, we all breathe the same air. So when one community is under attack, we have to all get up collectively and fight back.
Today, we're in solidarity with Palestine. And I mean, we've been out there and we understand that revolution is not something that's an identity thing. And Palestine's been fighting this for decades now. So we understand and we're supportive of that. We understand what that oppression looks like and how it intersects and how it affects us all.
Right now, there's many Israeli Jews that are already living in Israel and Palestine. They're generations in. Do you believe that they have the right to remain since they're already generations in and they've already made a home in this place?
So the Jews that generated in Palestine 100 years ago, I think they do have a right to stay in Palestine, because back then there was Jews and Christians and Palestinians living in Palestine. So, I mean, they did live together, but I don't think the European Jews should be, staying in Palestine because they came to Palestine, and so I don't think they belong there.
I don't know, because they're already there. Even though they did take that land illegally, now they need to find somewhere else, I guess. I don't know. It's free Palestine. That's all that matters.
Hell no. Settlers do not have any right to be in Palestine. I feel that by the settlers occupying Palestine for this long, really they are prolonging the problem, because there's only one solution to Israel occupation. It's a free Palestine, a free Palestinian state.
People that have already been on land or have been there for for a long period of time, they have the right to be there, but they should also be out there in the streets protesting against what's going on. They should be supporting Palestine, supporting their fellow Palestinian brothers and sisters, because this is, like I said, it's a community struggle. So it shouldn't be divided by race, ethnicity, creed, background, or color. People should understand that when a direct community is under attack, you have to come out in solidarity. You have to come on one accord.
People look at things, I use this example, people look at things that if it doesn't affect them, they kind of let it go in one ear, out the other. It's kind of like I see with this is my example with cancer research. It's like, no, you might not donate to cancer research, but if somebody in your family gets hit by kidney cancer, all of a sudden you're donating to kidney cancer, but cancer in general is still a problem. So that applies in the same sense with this, you know?
What in your mind is the best solution for peace, if you could think of one?
I would say it's not for me to answer. Like, I would say whatever is the right solution has to be something that comes from the people who are going to be living in that situation moving forward. And that's what I think has been really important, because a lot of people, especially in the U.S., you see a lot of American Jews tend to have like very, very strong opinions about what's happening in Israel. And I had the opportunity in different situations to talk to Israeli Jews, and there's definitely a different perspective, I think, in people who actually are kind of subject to the everyday violence that's it may be against Palestinians, but even Israeli Jews suffer from that violence as well.
To be honest, I feel like there won't be a solution anytime soon, unfortunately. And like us Muslims, we believe like the Mahdi will fix everything, inshallah, and will make Palestine free. So
I think Israel should back down, and I think Palestine should be left alone, for one thing. And if they don't do that, then maybe other countries should start helping, because Joe Biden isn't doing anything. And I think this is one of the main reasons that there's protests all around America right now, because our government should be helping them, but instead they're kind of on Israel's side. I mean, there's a lot of news about Joe Biden giving them money and stuff, and that's just not right. The government is saying one thing, the people are saying another.
Now, the solution is that as Muslims, we believe that these things have to happen in order, like in the sense of, yes, there's going to be bad things to happen, but in order for it to be fixed, we have to fix ourselves first. We have to believe in what's right and how we should go about it, and then Allah will fix our affairs and make everybody live in peace.
I think just the stopping of the killings and all these tragedies and all these crimes, I think that needs to stop the first.
My best solution is to stop all the wars, stop sending all the texts that Joe Biden is doing right now. Not to fight over a land, because if someone has already owned the land and they're getting half of their land, respect what you have. Do not be greedy about it and try to take over it, because that's what not humanity is all about. Humanity is about respect, honesty, benevolence, The
best idea for peace is United States getting their nose out the Middle East and getting their nose out everybody's backyard. We have to stop funding. We have to stop funding, these war machines in these countries. We have to leave people alone and let people live the lives that they want to live. The United States has been bullies for the longest period of time, and we've created a lot of the tensions that are in the Middle East and throughout the world.
I think there's no easy route about this, as everyone knows. I think there's just two directions. There's the direction where America and everyone else stays out of it and lets the people involved handle it, and I'm very much for that if the people involved want that. There's the other end where there's a lot of involvement, and that is another thing that only should happen when the people involved are okay with that. The problem is that becomes a point where they take sides, and that becomes the issue in a sense. Now, when it comes to taking back land or defending land, I think that's a question best answered and left answered, and I give that respect to the people who are getting their land taken. I'm just in support of that because I understand that process, especially when it comes to America and that renting process, like I said.
The best solution for peace there is to get all of the international forces that don't belong to that territory out of the Palestine, especially the United States, that have given the resources to Israel to oppress the Palestinian people. So if the key element for the solution of the Palestinian crisis is for the United States to stop helping Israel.